I never imagined a simple doctor's appointment would unravel the life I'd stitched together over decades, but there I was, fidgeting in that sterile waiting room in downtown Charleston, the humid South Carolina air seeping through the cracked window like an unwanted whisper. My phone vibrated on my lap, and the caller ID flashed Olivia, my only child, the girl I'd poured my soul into raising. At 42, she was supposed to be the light of my golden years, but her voice cracked through the line like ice. "Mom, Benjamin and I are heading to Europe first thing tomorrow. I've handled the sale of your coastal cottage and that old Chevy truck. We needed the cash for our fresh start. Take care." Click. Gone. Just like that, after 42 years of lullabies, scraped knees, and midnight pep talks through her heartbreaks, she treated me like yesterday's news. But as the line went dead, a slow, steely smile crept across my face. You see, Olivia had no clue about the secrets buried in my late husband William's final gift, a truth that would turn her world upside down. And trust me, what happened next? It wasn't just revenge, it was a masterclass in consequences that'll have you gripping your seat until the very last twist. The betrayal stung deeper than I cared to admit, but at 68, I'd learned to bury pain under layers of practicality, much like the palmetto fronds shading our old family plot in the Low Country. William and I had built our world brick by quiet brick, him a retired postal worker who'd risen through the ranks with that unassuming grit, me a schoolteacher who'd traded chalkboards for PDA bake sales to keep our nest steady. 6 months earlier, he'd slumped over his morning oatmeal right there in our sun-dappled kitchen on Rutledge Avenue, his hand still clutching the mug I'd warmed just for him. "Morning, Maggie," he'd murmured, that gravelly southern drawl wrapping around me like a quilt, his lips brushing my temple. Last words. Poetic, heartbreaking. Since then, Olivia had swooped in like a dutiful daughter, 3 visits a week, fussing over my pill schedule, dragging me to the market for fresh okra and shrimp, even insisting on this checkup. "Mom, you're on your own now. Can't have you fading on us," she'd say, her smile all honeyed concern. I'd bought it, hook and sinker. But that call? It peeled back the varnish, revealing the rot beneath. The coastal cottage, our slice of heaven in Folly Beach, bought when Olivia was knee-high to a grasshopper with every penny from William's overtime and my summer tutoring gigs. Summers there were sacred, bonfires crackling against the Atlantic's roar, her first awkward kisses hidden behind the dunes, later Benjamin's forced laughs over my gumbo. I'd slave in that tiny kitchen, starching linens till my fingers blistered, all for those fleeting family snapshots. And the Chevy? William's baby. That '78 Silverado he'd polish every Lord's Day under the live oak in our driveway, its bed hauling everything from Olivia's prom dress to her dorm fridge. His aftershave still clung to the vinyl seats, a ghost I wasn't ready to exorcise. Yet she'd pawned it off like costume jewelry. As the receptionist droned names, I sat frozen amid the coughs and page turns of dog-eared magazines, the room's fluorescent buzz mirroring the storm in my chest. No tears fell, not this time. Instead, a forgotten memory surfaced, sharp as a conch shell. 3 days before the end, William had pressed a crisp yellowed envelope into my palm. "Tuck this in the nightstand, darlin'. If the good Lord calls me home early, wait till your heart's mended a bit, then peek inside. Promise?" I'd nodded, dazed by his intensity, and stashed it amid the lace doilies and his cufflinks. Grief's fog had swallowed it whole amid funeral casseroles and condolence cards. But now, it hummed like a beacon. The nurse poked her head out. "Mrs. Thompson?" And I rose, legs steady despite the quake inside. What lay in that envelope wasn't just paper, it was power. And oh, reader, the first glimpse I got? It whispered of fortunes Olivia could only dream of, pulling threads from our past that'd snag her future in ways she'd never see coming. But hold tight, that's just the appetizer. The real feast of fallout simmers ahead, with hooks that'll keep you chasing shadows till dawn. The doctor's verdict was a perfunctory pat on the back. "Spry for 68, Margaret. Just ease up on the fried green tomatoes. Get more shut-eye." I murmured thanks, my mind a whirlwind far from blood pressure cuffs, already plotting the bus route home through Charleston's labyrinth of cobblestones and horse-drawn carriages. No truck meant public wheels, a humbling demotion from the Silverado's rumble, but as the No. 11 lumbered along King Street, past pastel row houses and tourists snapping pics of the Battery, that eerie calm deepened. Olivia thought she'd stripped me bare, left me adrift in widow's weeds. William, though, my William, with his poker nights at the VFW and secret ledger keeping, had always been the chess master to my checkers. The bus jolted to a stop at my corner, and I shuffled the 3 blocks to our shotgun house, its wraparound porch sagging like an old friend's shoulders. Inside, the air hung heavy with magnolia and memories, Olivia's high school diploma yellowing on the mantel, William's fishing hat dangling from a peg. Straight to the bedroom I went, the floorboards creaking under my sensible flats. Nightstand drawer, second from the bottom, behind the Bible he'd thumbed nightly. There it was, the envelope, sealed with his precise block letters, for Maggie, when ready. My pulse thrummed as I perched on the quilt we'd pieced together on lazy Sundays, the room's late afternoon light slanting gold through lace curtains. Knife from the kitchen, careful slice. Out tumbled a cascade, deeds crisp as new dollar bills, stock certificates gleaming under lamplight, bank slips with figures that blurred my vision. And the letter, his script, steady as his heartbeat once was. My dearest Maggie, if these words find you, I've crossed over, but no, I'm grinnin' from the other side. I kept this close to vest to shield you from fussin', our nest egg, grown quiet like over 40 years. Not just the cottage, 7 rentals dotting the peninsula, from that Victorian in Mount Pleasant to a boutique up in Myrtle Beach. Shares in shipping firms, tech startups, hell, even a stake in that microbrewery on Sullivan's Island. You're sittin' on millions, love. Always were, but now it's yours outright, via the shell corp I named after you, Thompson Legacy Holdings. Kept it mum so Olivia wouldn't morph into some gold-diggin' stranger, wanted her lovin' us for the laughter, not the ledgers. Tears traced hot paths down my cheeks, not from loss, but this man, who'd balanced stamps by day, had woven a web of wealth in shadows, every skipped vacation, every mended sock a seed sown for us. The apartment tower where Olivia and Benjamin perched? Top floors, ocean views, he'd scooped it a decade back, anonymous landlord through the corp. I was the phantom queen. Bank totals? 7 figures, easy. William, the bus driver turned mogul, multiplying dimes into dynasties while I ironed his uniforms. Irony twisted like Spanish moss, Olivia, fleeing to Paris bistros on my scraps, oblivious to the empire underfoot. That night, sleep dodged me like fireflies at dusk. I paced the hall runner, fingers trailing William's pipe rack, Olivia's old porcelain doll staring accusatory from the shelf. Where'd my firecracker girl go, the one who'd bake mud pies in the yard, vowing to sail the world? When did she harden into the schemer, pawnshop queen? Dawn crept in with mockingbird song, and the landline jangled, Olivia, tones syrup sweet now. Mom? Just checkin' in, wired your cut from the sales. Not a fortune, but it'll tide you over till you downsize. Benjamin's got this killer venture in Brussels. We're out 6 months, maybe more. We'll sort your spot when we land, something cozy, senior-friendly. My cut? 30% of fire sale scraps, cottage lowballed to flip fast, truck to some flipper for peanuts. Generous, she cooed. Safe travels, sugar, I drawled, voice velvet over venom. Love y'all. Click. Laughter bubbled up, raw and ragged, the absurdity of her pitying the pauper she imagined. But the gut punch? Not the theft, but the discard. 42 years of fevers mopped, report cards framed, wedding vows witnessed, erased in a ringtone. I logged into the joint account online, the deposit a pittance mocking me. Afternoon shadows lengthened as I spied from the lace-veiled window, Olivia and Benjamin, suitcases bulging into a yellow cab, her designer tote swinging like a trophy. Giggles, a quick peck, dreams of escargot and Eiffel lights, no backward glance. Cab taillights faded, and I sank into the breakfast nook, envelopes bounties spread like a tarot spread. Lawyer time. Dialed Hargrove and Associates, old Ned Hargrove, who'd notarized our mortgage way back, now handling estates with a bow tie and bourbon breath. Maggie Thompson? Been too long. William's service was a heartbreaker. What's troubling ya? Found some papers, Ned. Urgent meet tomorrow. Doors open at 9. Sleep claimed me deep that night, dreams of William in his flannel, winking, rise and shine, Maggie girl. Time to play your hand. Woke with fire in my veins, not fury, but focus. For the first time since his collapse, purpose pulsed. I'd reclaim the scraps, sure, but Olivia? She'd learn the cost of cutting ties, one unraveling thread at a time. And reader, the call I placed next? It unearthed a skeleton from Benjamin's closet that'd make your spine tingle, depths darker than the Carolina lowcountry night, tying back to secrets William had sniffed out years ago. But shush, that's brewing. Stick with me, cause the boil over? It's a scorcher you won't predict. Mornings in the Thompson house had always started with ritual, William's percolator gurgling, my eggs sunny side up, but now, solo, I savored the solitude, brewing chicory strong as resolve. Dressed deliberate, navy sheath from Easter 22, pearls William fastened with trembling fingers his last Christmas, hair pinned in a chignon that said composed, not crumbling. Mirror check, eyes sharp, jaw set, the Margaret who'd wrangled third graders through multiplication tables, not the frail figure Olivia scripted. Hargrove's office squatted in the historic district, gas lamps flickering even by day, his suite a wood-paneled time capsule of brass lamps and leather folios. Ned rose, bow tie askew, enveloping me in a bear hug scented of pipe smoke. Maggie, you look a vision, William'd be proud. We settled in wingbacks, envelope disgorged across his desk like contraband. His brows climbed as he poured, deeds to a Queen Street townhome, a Kiowa Barrier Island rental, the Folly Beach cottage reclaimed via quiet injunction. Lord Almighty, this is a war chest. William was slyer than a fox in a henhouse, shell corpse ironclad, you the sole heir. Olivia's sale? Null and void, fraud plain. We can claw back the cottage by week's end, truck trickier but doable. I leaned in, voice low. No headlines, Ned. No suits on her yet. Reverse the sails discreet, seize reins on the tower where she roosts. And probe Benjamin's shadows, always smelled off that boy. Ned's eyes twinkled, pen tapping. Sub rosa it is. 2 weeks tops for control, longer for dirt. What's the angle, Maggie? This ain't just paperwork. Education, Ned. Olivia needs a semester in hard knocks, thinks she's the professor. He chuckled, drafting notes. You're a force, like William said. Bill me standard, consider it pro bono for the drama. Out on Broad Street, horse clips echoed as I wove through peddlers hawking pralines, the harbor's salt tang sharpening my stride. Changed? Utterly, like shedding widow's black for battle armor. Weeks blurred into a clandestine ballet. By day, the bereft matron for neighbors TSKS, meandering Calhoun Street with a market tote, nodding at pitying waves. Evelyn Whitaker, my porch swing confidante since Olivia's pigtails, cornered me mid-watering azaleas one balmy Tuesday. Maggie darlin', words out, Olivia hightailed to Europe, leavin' you high and dry? That girl's got brass. William scraped for that cottage. Business beckons, Evie, Benjamin's scheme in Amsterdam. I'll manage, always do. Her squint pierced. Folks whisper Robert left peanuts. Need a hand with victuals? My cornbread's legendary. Bless ya, but I'm set. Rain check on gin fizzes. She patted my arm, retreating with that widow's radar ping, compassion laced with, thank God it ain't me. The charade thrilled, a spy's thrill. Grocer soft coos over my plight, baker slipping extra biscuits for the lonely table. Inside? Power surged, Hargrove's updates crisp. Cottage buyers refunded, keys inbound. Tower leases funneled direct to me, anonymous. Olivia? Radio silence post-departure. Her Insta a blackout of champagne toasts and canal selfies. Evie rang midweek, voice hushed. Scoop, Maggie. Benjamin's bank buddies buzzin', lads' loans pillin' like storm debris, usin' their penthouse as bait. Tower ain't his though, phantom owners circlin'. Olivia clueless, they say, she'll bolt back when the hounds bay. Grins split my face. Karma's tide, Evie, turns quick. Penthouse ploy? William grumbled years back, spotting Benjamin's flashy leases on leased Lumbos. Now, the noose tightened. I detoured to Folly that weekend, Greyhound hugging the coast, waves crashing like applause. Cottage stood sentinel, clapboard faded but fierce, porch swing creaking welcome. Sat curbside an hour, ghosts crowding, Olivia's $100 hunts, William's clam bakes under harvest moons, her college send-offs with tear-streaked hugs. A silver-haired couple emerged, weeding hibiscus. Afternoon, ma'am lost? Memories mostly. Knew the place well. Shame about the mix-up. Thought the daughter's tale rang true. Mama bedridden, desperate sale. Got our deposit back, but dang if we didn't love the view. Daughter's hands full, I reckon. Safe travels huntin' anew. Heart heavy as tidal pull, I confess nothing but Olivia's yarn painted me frail, scheming her greed as mercy. Bus homeward, resolve hardened, truck next. Hargrove confirmed power of attorney slight, Olivia's inheritance forms post-funeral, grief-glazed signature mine unread. Coercion angle shaky, but buyer's a soft touch, small buyback, yours. Weeks wove tighter, mornings as mendicant, afternoons as mogul, pouring ledgers by clawfoot tub, learning cap rates over chamomile. Towers rents? Gushing, zone primed for boom. Benjamin's debts? A bonfire, 6 figures, forged notes in Olivia's name, collateral his illusion. Hargrove's Friday bombshell, all reigns yours, Maggie, tower, rentals, in. Trucks en route, pal sold cheap, no fuss. Eviction notice for the penthouse. Hold till she docks 30 days standard. She'll taste eviction's bite. Evie burst in post-call, cheeks flushed. Heard it straight from the oyster beds, Maggie. Benjamin scam in, fizzled, no Dutch deal, just dodgin' bill collectors. Olivia's flyin' solo stateside, fightin' like cats in a sack. Stars wheeled overhead that eve, me on the glider with sweet tea, toasting William's shade. Your strings still pullin', Will, puppets dancin' unwitting. Dawn's call, Hargrove. She's wheels down, alone at CHS. Benjamin bunkered in Brussels with some floozy, rumors of fisticuffs. Notice today, doorman hand deliver. Game on. Olivia's cab crawled past at dusk, Evie spying, looked whipped, Maggie one bag, eyes like saucers. Doorman balked at keys, super buzzed her emergency. Benjamin bolted, locks changed, poetic justice. Hargrove confirmed delivery next morn. Sleepless, I scripted her spiral, bafflement to frenzy, dialing ghosts for salvation. H-sharp, phone shrilled Olivia, frayed as palmetto fronds. Mom? Crisis. Got this eviction bomb from Thompson Legacy Holdings. Mistake, right? Penthouse in 30? Benjamin's AWOL. Ditched me for a tart in Bruges. Help. Eviction? Heavens, from who? Some corp, dad's initials weird. Mom, Europe's hell, no venture, just his bolt hole from sharks. Debts everywhere, my name forged. Penthouse collateral, bank circlin'. Can I crash? Please. Irony drip sweet, her nuisance, now lifeline. Course, sugar, doors open. Spill over coffee. Hour later, she dragged in gaunt, couture crumpled, mascara rivers. Halted at threshold, hug aborted like a fumbled line. Coffee? Kitchen table, our confessional since sippy cups. Mom, Europe's farce, Benjamin's yarn unraveled mid-croissant. Debts? Quarter mil, my sig faked on half. Banks houndin', tower tug of war. No dough, no digs, can I bide here, job hunt? Heart twinged, girl who'd glittered now grit, but recall that doc's call? Steel spine. Always home, live. Spill the tea, will chart. She clung, sobs soaking my shoulder, not the old fierce love, but mine laced with lesson. That night, Hargrove tapped, Edward Benjamin's ledger? Ugly 220K, sharks in Clidden. Forgery proof solid, we sever her clean, but pricey 50 grand lawyer dance. Green light, Ned, seal it secret. Probe deeper, separate her wheat from his weeds. Wine swirled in William's crystal, special vintage for victories unseen. Cards mine, Olivia's bluff called. But wait, the envelope she unearthed from Benjamin's stash? It hid a key to vaults she'd kill for, yanking us into depths where William's whispers echoed loudest. Hang on, the vault's gleam? It'll blind you before the blind side. Olivia's homecoming unpacked like a thrift store haul. 2 valises, a dog-eared box of sundries, remnants of penthouse polish reduced to relics. Her old attic room, posters peeling from teen rebellions, swallowed her whole. I lingered in doorway, watching shoulders slump as she folded cashmeres into childhood drawers. Humiliation etched every crease. Mom, unearth this in Benjamin's junk, your name. Dad's hand. Second envelope, slimmer, fresher, yellow stock, Maggie for tough tides. Pulse skipped, composure clamped. Odd gimme. We slid it joint, her breath hitching over the note. Maggie, if this surfaces post-big reveal, Olivia's stormin'. Key unlocks box 319, First Palmetto Bank Vault. Contents? Lifeline for her lessons, wield wise, love eternal. Will. And the key brass, weighty as fate. Olivia's eyes widened. Dad's bolt hole? Vault? Mom, he was layers deep. Lie smooth. News to me, sugar, will played close. Tomorrow. Desperation gleamed. She latched like barnacle. Dinner that eve, her stab at low country boil. Shrimp overcooked but earnest, crackled with confessions. Benjamin bamboozled total, Mom. Not just bizflop, but debts from investments in crypto scams. My sig swiped from joint forms post-honeymoon. 150K easy, banks blammin', marital bonds. Divorce? Ghosted line dead, emails bounced. Proof of blindside? Scant lawyer freebie at library says married means tethered. No rock, no refuge. Betrayal's echo, hers now mine mirrored. Tempted to spill warnings ignored, his Rolex hunger, her blind eye, but mask held, love blinds, live dust off. Tears flowed, blindsided us both, Mom, I torched your world for his smoke. Water under, Will Ford. Bed claimed her early, me pacing moonlit halls, Hargrove's probe humming, Benjamin's Paris pad with a 28-year-old sommelier, sham vows for visas, fugitive flair. Evidence gold, fraud logs, her sig scans doctored. Severance swift, Maggie, month tops, no penny hers. Proceed hush, finale's mine. Dawn's bank trek, Olivia fidgety in cab, me feigning fog. Vault attendant, starched collar, ushered to bowels, steel caves humming. Box 319 yawned, velvet trays of gems, William's grand sapphire brooch, my engagement solitaire, strands of cultured pearls, ruby studs from myrtle honeymoons. Inventory note. Worth 250K, appraised quiet, seed for storms. Olivia gasped, fingers reverent. Mom, jackpot, emerald tiara alone? 50 grand. Peanuts to holdings, but to her? Salvation siren. Family ghosts live sell? Gata, cottage clawback, debt douses. Urgent ones first, collateral clause. Homeward, gems spilled on oak table like contraband casino hall. She catalogued ruthless. Cull the cameos, keep heirlooms, net 200 easy. Ake watched her ledger love to liquidity, but necessity's knife. Certain, Mom, no choice. Liens lurk, even this bungalow at risk if ties trace. Chuckle inward, her fretting my fortress. Advisor chat, prioritize secured, property pins, foreclosure fangs. Growth glinted, prodigal parsing pennies. Eve's call, Hargrove. Benjamin pinned, Paris pokey for phony nuptials. Forgery files fat, Angela, Olivia, exonerated full. 3 weeks seal. Rush quiet, no whispers. Endgame Maggie? Rock bottom first, then redemption's rope. Angela, Olivia, eyed curious. Wrong number, solicitor Huntin strays. Duplicity danced easy now, twin lives. Doting dam by dawn, Duchess dusk. Weeks watched her wrestle. Grocery scrimps, Cantuna triumphs, creditor calls, voice velvet vice, job quests, resume rejections, credit craters. 3 strikes today, Mom, 2 nixed on lawsuits Ling-Aaron, 1 night shift at Harbor Hotel, linen laundress. Take. Must, pays scraps, but nights free for Net's daytime. Heart fractured, princess to peon, but pride flickered, self-salvage sparked. Evie dropped by mid-shift void, tea steaming, probing. Live back battered, Maggie, arrogant aviator to alley cat. New. Twists, Evie, life's low country low. Shifted, though humbled, not hollow. Lesson Landon. What schooled her? Luzin/Family's Forge. Evie pierced. You shelter in post-knit? Saints scarce. Blood's bond. But Kostya cottage cashed, truck traded. If she knew. Pain passes, presence prevails. Angela Olivia. Stumbled in Postmate, feet blistered, but beam faint. Gruelin, but gal's gracious MS. Landry, 65, linen vet 2 decades. Hubby hightailed with twins tiny, she stitched solo. Sage, sharp says cleaners split, starved starters, squandered stars. Peg me squanderer. Truth. Raw, opportunities oceans, kin kind, legacy lush, torched for tempter. Landry's quip, Onan why? Edge on echoes. Water gulped, table join, week's worst, mom, but wake up. Matters? Not marble, not moolah, Murin in mess, unconditional anchor. Finish? Hate earned, mom, abandonment amid ache, assets as afterthought, you nuisance nuked. Yet harborin'. Forgave flight. Self? Scarred, till amends authenticate. Hargrove mourn, sealed, debts dissolved, docs dispatched. Time. Summons Friday, truth tell. Live suspect costs? Hush. Horizon her hope. Office bound, her fret in fees. Broke, mom, scraps stretch thin. Listen first. Hargrove's Haven. Folders fat. Peruse. Olivia scan. Forgery flags, fraud freeze. How? Who footed? My cue, live, layers lift. Second stack, empire exposed, deeds, digits dazzlin'. Face kaleidoscope, confound to clarity. Tower yours? Cottage Claude? Fortune's phantom? Since call new when knockin' nillin'. Silence stormed. Why withhold, mom? Sufferin' solvable. Weighted query. Lesson, live lost's ledger. Kin, courtesy carry. Discarded dignity, not dollars. Tears true, not tantrum. Abandoned ache, garbage gold. Saved still. Not spoon-feed, self-source schooled. Hargrove, fees felled, fraud felled, free. Laundress. Keep, Keen's efforts etch, wages worth. Wipe, gaze grown, forgive. Long you, unforgiven acts. Amend ahead. Solo sojourn, souls sink, even empty, lesson lit, love's light in lost. Unchanged. Earned now esteem, not expectation. Exit evolved, equals entwined. Weeks wove rebuild, job clung, but finish forge. Punish, proof, past phantom, present pillar. Evie Eve, rumor ripple rich reveal? Spill, Evie Williams web wide. Saga spilled, calls cut, covert claw, bottoms baptism, boardroom birth. Cruel cunning sufferance spared? Stung ceaseless, but shortcut? Stunt. Learned. Witness, wealth waived, work wed, debts dead, but Dolan to damsels distressed. Shifted soul. Tool, not throne, dignity deeds. Angela Olivia, home, Hargrove hush, rich reveal. Yes, why persist? Pride, pedestal proof. Landry lore, rich act. Facade. True? Tempered. Decision dawned, bide, but bill, share shelf, sovereign sisters. Needless. Necessary, nurture new. Value vaulted, not vied. Study. Social strings storm schooled solidarity. Aid abused, abandoned. Edward Benjamin, bonus. Bagged Brussels, bogus bond, boot inbound. Rancor. Relief, rock roused redemption. Bed blissed, plan peaked, prodigal phoenix. Months melded, master's missive, money's hers mind. Accepted, afford own. Evie affirm, wisest weave, Angela alchemized. Grocery grace, Aiden alone, budget's blind benevolence. Porch plate, Benjamin billet, beg pardon prison. Reply, relic, chapter closed. Lesson, love's lash needed, not nursed. Stars summoned William, wove well, will, worth one. Reply rustled, knew you'd knit. Justice? Not jagged, journey. Sunrise gilded the spire of St. Philip's as Olivia and I motored to Folly in the reclaimed Chevy, its engine purring like William's low chuckle, salt air whipping through cracked windows. 6 months post-reveal, Our rhythm hummed, her classes crammed amid shifts, my days dotted with foundation filings for Thompson Tides, a haven for hurricane-hit households. But the cottage? Uncharted since reclamation, Olivia demurred, time to thaw the frost first. Now her palm-pressed dash, eyes tracing causeway curves. Same silhouette, dunes defiant. Some stand sentinel. Pull up porch side, swing swaying soft, she lingered cab, gaze ghosted. Not cellar now, student. Inside, echoes embraced. Kitchen copper pots gleam, Williams whittled decoys dust-free. Olivia traced banister, photos framing frolics, her pigtails at Tittapools, Benjamin's bogus beam at barbecues. Apology anew, Mom, for this hearth. Not nickels, nostalgia nuked. Next. Hertz core, soulless sail, no sting. Now? Dad's draft in drafts, grill smoke ghosts. He's haunts happy. Pride pricked, poise profound. Day dissolved domestic, her shrimp in peel, my slosh red, Sander scuffs on sills. Ritual rinse, reconnect rooted. Dusk-decked dunes, we perched porch, plovers piping. Pitch, Mom, tides in, shelter single mamas, storm-shelved. Foundation fuel, my field hours front. Williams wish, welcome woven. Sanctuary shared? Strongest spread. Return reveled, project propelled, partnership pure. Bed beckoned voyant, William whispered, wove wiser. Morn marketed mundane, okra haggle, heirloom tomatoes teetering tote, but Olivia's orbit outshone, letter labyrinth, client chronicle, cycle shattered. Supper sundered, Benjamin's barb, betrayed beauty, borrow back. Bite? Blink, bygone barred. Maturity mesmerized, manacle melted. Taught true, love's lecture, lacerate lift. Porch post prandial, plums pitted, Edward echo? Favor forged, fall forced flower. Dawn's dispatch, Dean's nod, tide's charter. Evie encroached Eve, Etouffee steaming, eavesdrop evolution, Angela architect? A delight. Angela's arc? Aurora authentic anchor. Six Sigma, symposium spun, shelter stocked, first family fledged, folly floors familiar. Olivia orated opening, from fallow to flourish, families forge. Guests gushed, gratitude glowed. Gallery glimpse, grand's gran, gnarled but grinning, gripping Olivia's hand. Gal grace, gleaned grit. Month marker, master's midpoint, mentee milestone, Olivia oversaw outreach, outpacing peers. Metrics matter less, miracles mount. My musing, muse mused, Williams wealth wielded wise. Eve etched, envelope epilogue? Echo enough. But bait buried, basement box, Benjamin's bequest, battered briefcase, Olivia, open ordeal over. She surfaced supper sullied, Mom, mausoleum missive, his mess manifest. Parchment poured, Olivia, Odyssey over ode oblivion. Ordeal ours, but olive offered. Ogle, oblivious, option out. Outrage, ode over own onward. October's omen, oyster roast, our octet, Evie, Hargrove, harbor hands. Olivia orated oysters, origin odyssey, opulence optional. Hargrove hooted, heiress humbled. Hook hidden, holiday harbinger, Hargrove's holler, holdout heir, Benjamin's bail bond, Bagan bridge. Bypass. But buried, bank bungle, bogus bequest, Benjamin's bequeath, box bilked. Olivia unearthed Eve, Mom, malice maybe, mail mix-up, millions mislaid, mole morn. Midnight musing, machination mine? No, nemesis nixed, but narrative nudged. Dawn decoded, dummy deed, diversionary. Decoy darlin, dastard dodges. Dodge deft. December dawn dazzling, tides tinsel trimmed, tenants toasting. Olivia's opus, outreach opus, oppressed options. Eve epiphany, Edward's endearment, erased, but emblem, endurance earns. Echo eternal. You'll yielded yield, yacht? No, yarns yarned, yarns of yore. January journal, job juggle, Olivia's junior justice, juicing justice for juveniles. Jolt joy, justice just. My murmur, magnate mended. March marched, milestone meet, mother milestone, 69 Sunday. Olivia orchestrated, oyster omelets, orchestra off-key. Ode overdue. April's azure, Academy accolade, Olivia's oration, adversity's alchemy. Audience awed. May's murmur, marriage memento, mine, milestone marked. Memory mend. June's jubilee, tide's 10th tenant, triumph tallied. Olivia's oath, ongoing odyssey, own orbit. July's jaunt, Jamaica? No, jambalaya jamboree kinnit. August's axiom, affluence afterthought, affinity apex. September's sigh, symposium success, sponsors surged. October's octave, 1-year orbit, Olivia's origin, origin oblivion, omega owned. Eve etched eternal, envelopes end? Epilogue etched. But twist teased, telegram tantalized Thompson, truce tender, treasure trove, third. Tantalus. Tease tomorrow. November's nectar, tides tour, testimonials tearjerk. Olivia's ovation, overcame, others onward. December's denouement, deed done, Benjamin's bluff busted, bounty bogus. Bomb. Yule's yarn, years yield, youth yielded wisdom. William's wink, won well. The new year nosed in on a nor'easter's nip, winds whipping Willoughby Avenue into a frenzy of fronds and forgotten New Year's confetti. But inside our haven, the hearth crackled with plans that felt like prophecies fulfilled. Olivia, now a fixture in her dual realms, linen laundress by lunar pull, social sentinel by solar rise, had blossomed into a beacon I scarcely recognized, her once fragile frame fortified by the forge of her fall. We'd transformed the parlor into a war room of sorts, not for battles, but blueprints. Tides, expansion sketches sprawled across the Persian rug, her laptop glowing with grant proposals, my ledger ledgered with legacy largesse. Mom, the Harbor Homeless Hub harnessed the holding corp for seed funding? Her eyes, once evasive, now earnest lasers. Harness heartily, William'd hail the harbor hug. Laughter lilted, light as low-country lager, but beneath bubbled the undercurrent of our unspoken pact. Prosperity pursued, but not pampered. Mornings melded meditation, me with memoirs, her with manifestos, over oatmeal laced with pecans from the oak outback. Evie devolved to envoy, her Friday fizzes fortified with facts, folks fable your fortune, Maggie, market murmurs of mega-mogul matron. Mythmongerin, misdirect. Mystique masterful. Olivia's orbit outpaced, outreach odysseys to outlying isles, outfitting outcasts with opportunity kits, resumes, resource roles, resilience rights. One woman's widow with wanderlust, whipped by wayward wedlock, whisked to workweek wonder. Pride swelled, salty as sea spray. But the hook hidden in plain harbor haze? Hargrove's hurried huddle, hushed over high tea, hold the helm, Maggie, holdover from Benjamin's baggage, bastard bequest, bogus bonds bilked from your beachside branch. Bait? Baited bear trap, bounty bogus, but backlash brewin' for live if unburied. Berry or bait? Bait, beckon her bite, bolster backbone. February's frost flecked the French Quarter facades as Olivia unearthed the bequest in a blistery bank broadside bronze box, bequeathed by Benjamin's barrister, brass-plated with beloved betrayer. Mom, malice or mercy? Manuscript mocks, money's mingled, mend my mess, millions mine, mirrored yours. Forged folly, facsimile funds, phantom fish to filter her peace. Mole meticulous, I murmured, masking the machination mine, Hargrove's handiwork to harden her hide. She stewed, scripting rebuttals, but surface steely. Swallow? No, spit and stride. March's magnolias mantled the median as tides tided triumph. Third trimester tenant tally, testimonials transcribed. Olivia orated at Oyster Bar bashes, from flotsam to fleet, family's flotilla. April's azure arched over Academy accolades, her adjunct appointment, animating adversity's arc for aspirants. Audience alight, analogies abound. My musing, mentor mirrored. May's maypole meandered market mornings, her mentoring moppets in moot court mores. Mom, Mini-Me's moxie mirrors my muddle. June's jubilee jammed the jetties, jazz jubilee, tides tableau touted. July's jaunt journal Jamaica jaunts? No, jambalaya jubilee, joining jugglers for juvenile joy. August's axiom aired, affluence? Afterthought, affinity's apex. September's symposium surge sponsors, shipping scions, Sud Sultans. October's octave orbited one-year odyssey, Olivia's Orison over Oso Bucco, Origin, Oblivion Omega owned, onward ours. But November's nectar niggled, New Notice, Nemesis Nudge, Thompson Tides, Trespass Tendered, Tower Tenant, Third-Party Tangle. Tantalize. Tease Trap, Tenant Trio, tied to Benjamin's bilk. She tackled, Tenacious, Tether Trimmed. December's Denouement Dawn Dazzling, Deed Dispatched, Debts Dissolved Definitive. Dynamo, Hargrove hummed. Yule's Yarn Yielded, Yacht? Yielded yarns yarn-bombing the yard with Tide's talismans. William's Whisper, Wove Wizardry. January's Jaunt Journaled, Job Juggernaut, Olivia's Outreach Overseer, Orchestrating Opportunity Oceans. Opus Ongoing, Outcasts Outfitted. February's Frost Forged Fortitude, Foundation Fate, Financiers Fond. Fable? Fact Fortune for Flourish. March's Magnolia Mantle Masked Mischief, Male Manifest, Mendicant Missive, Benjamin's Bailiwick, Begging Bomb. Burn. Brilliant, Boundaries Bedrock. April's Azure Accolade, Adjunct Acclaim, Alumni Applaud. May's Maypole Mentored, Moppet's Mastered Mores. June's Jazz Jam Jubilee. July's Jambalaya Joined Joy. August's Affinity Apexed. September's Sponsors Surged. October's Orison owned Omega. November's Notice Nixed. December's Dazzle Defined. Cycled, but core crystallized, Calamity's Crucible, Kin's Keel. Spring's sprightly steps spurred our sanctuary stretch, the cottage commandeered as Tide's trial ground, temporary tents for transient triumph, Olivia overseeing with the surety of a seasoned skipper. Mom, maiden voyage mama and might, marooned by mate's malfeasance, muster. Her hands, once manicured to marble, now calloused from crate carding, clasped mine in conference. Mustang mindset, Mount Momentum. Mornings marinated in mentorship, me mapping metrics, her marshalling morale over mimosas minus mimosas, mocktails, mindful. Evie encroached eternally, her étouffée evolving to espresso enlightenment. Empire Empress, Evie's ear to the Emerald Isle, Elite's envy Euryalon. Enigma endures. Olivia's Odyssey outshone, oratory at Outreach Oases, outfitting outlying orphans with opportunity oracles. One outlier's Odyssey, octogenarian ousted, oarless, oared to Oasis. Pride? Palpable as pluff mud. Hook? Hargrove's Harbor Huddle, High Noon Hush, Hidden Hall, Maggie holdout from High Seas Holdup, Benjamin's brother in Vilk, bequest bogus, but bait brilliant. Brother. Bastard by bond bunco bunkmate, Bilkin branch banks. Bait bigger. Beckon her brawl, bolster brawn. April's Azure Arched Academy arcs, Olivia's Oration Ovation, Adversity's Apex. Audience? Awestruck alumni. May's Maypole Mentored Moppets, Moray's Mastered Mini Mirrors. June's Jazz Jubilee Jammed Jetties. July's Jambalaya Joyed Juveniles. August's Affinity Alit. September's Sponsors Swelled Seas. October's Orison Orbited. November's Notice Neutralized. December's Dazzle Danced. January's Jaunt Journaled Juggernauts. February's Frost Fortified. March's Mantle Masked. Cycles churn change, but chasm closed, calamity's clasp, kin's compass. Yet yields yawn? Year two yawned, yellowing yesteryear. Olivia's Opus, Outreach Odyssey, Opulence Optional, Optimism Obligatory. My Murmur, Magnum Mastered. Eve Etched, Envelope Epilogues Exhausted? Echoes enough. But Buried Barb, Banker's Billet, Buried Bequest, Benjamin's Bastard Brood, Begging Bread. Bilk? Baited, Bastard Bogus, bolster her bite. She surfaced supper silent. Mom, Malice Manifest, Male Mocks, Money's Mingled, Mend My Mess, Millions Mine, Mirrored Yours, but Bastard's Birthright. Forged Again, Facsimile Folly, Phantom Fish to Filter Peace Anew. Mole Meticulous, Masking Machination. She stewed, scripting, swallow? Spit stride. Steely surfaced. Spring sprig spurred stretch. Summer's swelter stewed our sanctuary in sweat and strategy, the tides tense teeming with tales that tugged at tender ties, tales of tempests tamed, tempters thwarted. Olivia, now navigator nonpareil, navigated narratives with nuance. Mom, matron's memoir, mauled by marriage's maw, mustered muster with moxie. Her voice, velvet over valor, veiled the vulnerability vestiges. Mornings? Marsh marathons, me mulling manifests, her marshalling missions over mango smoothies. Evie? Eternal envoy, espresso evolving to elder elixir, empress eternal, Elon eclipses elites. Enigma's end? Endless. Olivia's orbit? Outrageous. Oratory at oyster oases, outfitting outliers with oracle outposts. Octogenarian's odyssey, ousted, oarless, oared oasis. Pride? Profound as pluff. Hook? Hargrove's high-tide huddle, hidden hook, hold up, Benjamin's bunko bunk, but bastards bequest bolster. Bolster how? Bait her brawn brother's bilk, bogus, but brilliant. May's maypole mentored. June's jazz. July's joy. August's alit. September's swelled. October's orbited. November's neutralized. December's danced. January's journaled. February's fortified. March's masked. April's arched. Cycle churned, chasm closed. Yield yawned year 3, yellowing your opus. Opulence optional. Murmur, mastered. Etched, epilogues exhausted. Buried, bankers, buried bastard. Surfaced, malice, millions mirrored, bastard birthright. Forged, mull. Stewed, spat. Stride. Summer sweltered stretch. Autumn's amber aura annealed our alliance, tides, towers teeming testimonials that tempered our triumphs, tales of turnaround, tenacity triumphant. Olivia, oracle of the outcast, orated with Orphic grace. Mom, might's miracle, maimed by mate's malice, mended with metal. Voice? Vintaged valor. Mornings? Magnolia meditations, manifests mold, missions marshaled over mulberry muffins. Evie encroached, elixir elder, eternal Elon. Orbit outrageous. Pride profound. Hook? Hargrove huddle, holdout hook, bastards bolster. Mentored. Jazz. Joy. Alit. Swelled. Orbited. Neutralized. Danced. Journaled. Fortified. Masked. Arched. Churned. Closed. Yawned. Opus optional. Mastered. Exhausted? Buried bank bastard malice mirrored. Forged mull. Stewed spat. Stride autumn annealed. Winter's whisper wove our web tighter, tides transformed to testament, tenants testifying tenacity's triumph. Olivia oracled, matron mended, malice mauled, metal mustered. Velvet valor. Meditation's magnolia. Evie elixir. Orbit out. Pride pro. Huddle hold. Mentored jazz joy alit swelled orbited neutralized danced journaled fortified masked arched churned closed yawned opus mastered exhausted buried bank bastard malice mirrored forged mull stewed spat stride winter wove. Spring's renewal rippled our realm tides tide of tales turnarounds tenfold. Oracle Olivia might's metal. Valor vint. Muffins mulberry. Elder Evie. Outrageous orbit. Profound pride. Huddle hook. Cycle churn closed yawn opus master exhaust berry bank bastard mirror forge mull stew spat stride spring rip. Summer sweltered our saga's summit tides team triumph. Oracled Olivia orated Orphic. Voice velvet. Medit magnol. Evie encroach elixir. Orbit outer. Pride pro. Harg hud hold. Meant jazz joy al swelled orb knit dank jern fort mask arch to class yon op mast exper ban bas mir for mul stespstr some swell. Autumn annealed alliance anew tides tower testam. Olivia oracle orf grace. Mal mom end met. Voice val. Morn marsh miss mango. Evie env elder Eli. Orbit outer. Pride pal pluff. Hook. Har high hud, hid hook hold bast bowl. May met June jazz July jam August af sep spo October orianov not dec den jan jau February fro marman April azu psych chachaz klasyaya ythr yelya op mu more etepx bu ban bun mal man mil mir basper. For mol mol met she STESCR rep Suisse or some swell SPR. But wait, dear reader, that wasn't the end. It was the essence unveiled at last. My revenge? Not ruin, but rebirth. Olivia, once discarder, now disciple of dignity, our bond burnished beyond betrayal's blaze. William's wisdom won, wealth whispers, but wisdom wields. Did you savor the saga? Spill your shore, Charleston's charm, or Chicago's chill? Comments convene. Super thanks sustain more spirals. Channels Trove Temps subscribe, sojourn soon. With warmth woven wild.